In our life, we go through good times and we go through bad times. We go through those with people. You know, Laura and I will often sit down and we'll just reminisce. We like to reminisce especially about the past 2 years. You know, when we decided to adopt our daughter, Sadie, most of you guys know the story. We decided to adopt our daughter, Sadie, and then she got pregnant with Joven. It's all her fault. And we decided to adopt anyway. And so Joven was born, and 6 weeks later, we flew to India and picked up our malnourished, failing to thrive daughter in a Pune orphanage. She was 10 pounds at 19 months. And we brought her home. We're like, we can do this. We got home, we're like, we can't do this. And then the church approached me and said, we want you to plant a church. I think I was home for like 36 hours. And I came home and said, honey, we're going to plant a church. And she went, no. And now we look back on that because then she became the faithful one and I became the unfaithful one when it came to planting the church. And I said, shouldn't plant the church. And she said, oh, we can do it. And we go back and forth. And now, as we look back, those years were very difficult for us. Very hard for us. Our family was rocked to the core. Our kids were rocked to the core. And it's hard even now. Most people won't tell you that about adoption and things like that. It's difficult. It's hard. Every day's hard. And we get to sometimes just sit together and we just start laughing. Have you ever been there in the middle of pain or suffering or trial and you just start laughing? And you can't even believe you're laughing. You almost feel guilty for laughing. And the reason why we're laughing is we're looking back at day one when we brought her home in May and Joven was there and the other kids were there and there's lots of kids and lots of poop and all that stuff. 3 kids in diapers. And we're planting a church on top of all that. And we look back at that and we wonder, man, how did we make it through? And we made it through because Jesus is bigger than every single storm. And we share in those moments, and those times are very intimate moments for us where we get to share as we reflect on what God has done. I think that's what Peter means when he says, you share in the sufferings of Christ. It's almost that, yes, it's painful, but man, you're overwhelmed by Jesus and what he's done for us, what he's done for you, that he's walking with you, that he walked the same path as you, that we do not have a high priest who doesn't understand our sufferings. He's been through it all of it. And that's what brings the laughter during those moments. Sharing that with Jesus. Your amazement over the fact that Jesus is bigger than every storm might not come in the midst of the trials. In fact, it probably won't. It probably doesn't. It might come after the trials or after certain parts of the trials where you look back and you say, man, God is good. Jesus is amazing.